former general manager of the Mets and bounced around that organization for a long time. MLB Network Radio too. Steve, it's a pleasure. Great to have you with us here. Boy, could you imagine being a GM of the Reds right now? This is the worst National League start since 1894 at 3-21. Is there hope on the horizon or help? Let me hear. Go ahead.
No, there's really not. I mean, that's the problem is that they're undermanned. They traded away so many of their good players in the offseason. They let Castellanos opt out, didn't pursue him. And look, they're going to get Luis Castillo back, so that's good. But I think as soon as he shows that he's healthy and can pitch, they have to trade him. They can't risk his injury again, so he's going to get moved. They just put Tyler Naquin and Nick Senzel on the COVID IL, along with Joey Votto. I mean, what could go wrong has gone wrong. So maybe they'll get to where they have a little bit of a streak. But teams are going in there right now, and they're feeding on them. They're absolutely putting up numbers. Hitters are looking at it saying, this is where we take advantage of it. It's a hitter's ballpark. Even in ballparks that the ball's not sailing, teams are taking advantage of this pitching staff, and they are so undermanned right now that, quite honestly, they're on pace for, 23 wins this year? I don't know that they get there. They're that bad.
Come on. They'll win 20. Is David Bell? He's going to survive, right?
I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, they've obviously chopped him off at the knees and taken out his roster from underneath him. So I think he survives. But he's a guy that's prone to ejections, and I got to believe at some point he's going to get really frustrated, and we're going to get some pretty good video out of it.
Funny. All right, the Phillies haven't played that well, and they got the Mets coming in 11 up and 14 down. Texas twice. It's a combination of things. Wheeler got off to a bad start. Sometimes the bullpen, sometimes not the bullpen. The offense is up and down. The Mets are flying, so this is a very significant series for Philadelphia, and their schedule ahead is mind-boggling, and you know that town very well. They're not going to put up with the Phillies, hanging around 500 in June. So let me hear your take on Philadelphia. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, everybody is going to think it's a big series when they take on the Mets right now because they do look like the team to beat in the division. The Braves thought that with trying to squeak out the split in the series yesterday. But for the Phillies, I mean, so Aaron Nola hasn't quite been himself. Zach Wheeler was a little dinged up, and they're trying to protect him. The rest of the rotation has been a little bit hit and miss. And then the bullpen has let them down. And then when the bullpen doesn't, the defense does. And then when the defense doesn't, they don't hit on that day. And they're doing those things that mediocre to poor teams do, where they find something different every day to lose a game. And that's, where other teams like the Mets are playing the kind of baseball that they just find a way to win. The Phillies are finding ways to lose, and so they need to have a dramatic pivot if they're going to really get in this race and stay in the race.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they handle it here. What's your take on the Dodgers beating the Giants twice? San Francisco's lost 5 of 6. They were playing very well, and then Washington went in there. They've had some injuries with their pitching staff, and they lost 2 to the Dodgers. Do I read anything into that as far as L.A. and the Giants are concerned, first series of the year?
Well, I'm struck by how passionate the Dodgers are about winning these games against the Giants. I understand it's been a rivalry, but I think that last year the Giants sort of shocked the world a little bit and shocked the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, we're done with this nonsense. We want to go out there. They've been very aggressive in this series so far. Obviously, a 2-game series. They sweep the series. They had good pitching, good offense. Mookie Betts coming around. You have Muncy end an 0 for 15 streak with 2 hits and a home run. Turner ends an 0 for 17 streak. And here's the thing. The Dodgers are leading in runs scored per game in the National League, and they've had guys who haven't hit yet. I don't know how they're pitching as well as they are, but they're pitching great, and I didn't love their pitching coming in. Their bullpen's been good. Kimbrel seems like he's figured himself out there. So I think the Giants have their work cut out for them this year. I think the Padres are better. The Dodgers are better. I don't like the Rockies as a playoff team, but they're playing better baseball right now. And so I do make something out of this. I think the Dodgers want to stick it to the Giants, and they want to ride it out. Last year, the Giants won the series 10 games to 9. I don't suspect that's the way it's going to go this year.
Wow. All right, Angels and Twins. Do you believe in both, none, or one and not the other? How about that?
Yeah, so I believe in the Twins a little bit more than I do the Angels, but it's because of the division. I mean, the White Sox look lost, and they've won 3 in a row. Maybe they're starting to come around a little bit. They've had a lot of injuries. But for Minnesota, it's funny because in the years we think they're going to be good, they haven't been. And in years we think, well, they're not really, they don't have this, they don't have that. They're playing well. Now, the thing that's shocking for me is how well they've pitched. I don't love their rotation. I mean, they don't have Maeda there. Pineda's out and gone. They've been piecing it together. But Buxton's been great. They play very good defense. Run prevention is as much the game for them. Joe Ryan's been terrific for them so far. He's got really good stuff, and he's been an answer in that rotation. He's going to vie for the Rookie of the Year, this kid. He's got great stuff. But Byron Buxton's the man, and he's delivering in a big way. Carlos Correa's had a significant impact. And defensively, you see Correa making plays that they haven't ever seen made in Minnesota before. That's going to make a difference. But I don't think the White Sox are out of this yet. And I don't believe enough in the pitching for Minnesota that they can run away with this. So I don't love them. From the Angels' perspective, you know, they're playing great. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about them if they're starting to believe in themselves. And I think that they are. But they're an offense-first team. And I tend not to believe that offense-first teams can win 90 games, you know, because you have to win. If you're going to win 90, you're going to win every kind of game. You've got to outpitch the opponent. You've got to out-bullpen the opponent. Then you can slug them, and they can do that because they're scoring a lot of runs. But, you know, their starting pitching has been pretty good. The bullpen, Archie Bradley struggled. I'm just not convinced. And I look at Houston, and Houston has dominated Texas and Seattle at home since 2019 to like an 850 winning percentage. That domination within the division for the Astros, I think, will separate them in the long run. I think the Angels are going to fight for a wild card spot, but I think they're going to come up just a bit short.
All right, I know you're close to Dusty. You know, baseball celebrated Dusty. You got all sorts of bottles of Perrier. The commissioner called him, or the managers called him. Everybody loved the idea that Dusty got his 2000th. He's bounced around a lot. He got fired unceremoniously by the Nationals. That shouldn't have happened. He had to sit out a while when he got fired by the Reds. Everywhere he goes, he wins. He's going to make the Hall of Fame without a chance. If he doesn't win a championship, and that's hard to do, he's still going to get in there. Most managers and coaches in sports need to win a title to be Hall of Fame eligible. There's not many who are in without a championship. Marv Levy is, but not many. And he's going to make it, and deservedly so. And he's enjoying himself right now. Let me hear a couple thoughts. I know you love him. Let me hear a couple thoughts on him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, 2001 wins now. By the end of next week, he'll probably be 10th overall in wins because he's just a couple away from two other guys. And so he's going to get the 10th. And he's won 5 division titles with 5 different teams. Nobody else has ever done that. You don't find anybody who doesn't like Dusty Baker. I mean, maybe Tony La Russa had a little bit of an issue with him at one point, but Dusty's well respected. He went into Houston in what was a really tough situation. The players embraced him. He embraced the players. He is so grateful for the opportunity. And that's kind of thing I love is that he really is. He said, I'm the happiest man in the world. And there was a part of him that had a little bitterness with the way that he's been treated over the years. I love that he's really gotten this opportunity, that people are celebrating him. He's a Hall of Fame manager who's a heck of a player too. And he's managed the superstars, and he's managed kids breaking into the big leagues. And there are some managers that can't do it. They're either the win now team or they're the rebuilding team. He can blend youth and experience. And, you know, he still wants to get a shot at that World Series. And so at 72, he's 72 years young right now and still seems to be really enjoying himself.
Quickly, and I know it's a long word answer. You think MLB is worried about the Athletics with their attendance issues in Oakland? Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Well, you have to be. And I mean, I know they want a new stadium, but even that's making me wonder right now. I understand how many times can a fan base take a punch in the gut where you build it up, you tear it down, you build it up, you tear it down. But 2,700 fans, I mean, it seems really clear they're going to have to relocate. I just don't see it happening there. You know, a city council approved it, but a non-binding agreement. So there's really no commitment from anybody. If it's not done soon, they have to just relocate this team and move on.